Alright.
Live.
We are live. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Shooting the Shit. This is our third episode. We do hope you are enjoying this so far. And as always, if you like it, please subscribe and feel free to comment. We're always looking for feedback.
Throw some likes, share if you need to. But more important, come on, hang out and have fun.
I'm going to put it up just
Okay. So we got some really interesting things we're going to talk about today that hopefully shall be enlightening and revealing.
Alright, that looks better. I don't want this to be so far in the background.
Okay.
I know they're like, man, it's got they're unprofessional, it's live, and they're adjusting. Our bad, we're still new to this. Alright. How you feeling today? You feeling good?
Feeling good. Nice and warm summer day.
It is nice. It is nice. Still a little warm, but you know, I need medium. Not too hot, not too cold. Alright, so I figure the first thing we want to talk about is leadership. Is leadership important to you? Does it play a key role in your life? Do you consider yourself to be a leader, and how so, if so?
I think leadership is very important across the board, professionally, relationship-wise. You got children, you got people that employees, team members, what have you. Anytime, I said this before, anytime, we used to say this in the Marine Corps, anytime two Marines come together, anytime two or more Marines come together, one becomes a leader. So anytime a group of people come together, somebody is a leader. People are typically looking to somebody for the answers. What do you think we should do? Or now, whether there's a little discussion and stuff going on in there, ultimately, it shows your leadership if you're able to help configure things to get y'all back on the right course.
So you believe naturally a leader will just emerge?
Yes. Not only will it happen, I think that having that idea and that foresight to know that, it allows the things to be shaped a little bit differently, as opposed to, because naturally most people, who wants to step on somebody else's dick or tell them how to do or what they want? If you got a vision, all right, either you want to support or you want to lead it to that execution. So, what about you? What you think?
You can either lead, follow, or get out the way. I feel that. As far as myself, in some ways, I think I was raised to be a leader. My grandmother would always put an emphasis on, you're the oldest, so you're supposed to set the example. You're supposed to make sure that things go right. You know, if you're playing or something, that's fine, but you make sure everybody's safe. You make sure to look out for everybody, you know. And those are things that I have to this day, even though I tend to kind of fight against them in certain ways. Just because I was the only child. So even though I'm around people, I'm still like used to being on my own at the same time, and I don't want to force my will on anybody.
Right.
You know, that's one thing I try to be conscious of. Like, all right, I'll lead if you will accept me as the leader, but I don't want to force my will upon you.
Domineering.
Yeah,
right.
I don't want to be domineering. Like, I'm not trying to be a dictator, you know.
Right.
But and I noticed that, like, even at work. You know, at work we have like different stations and we have a line leader, and I'm technically not the line leader, but I'm the person that makes sure that everybody gets what they need. I'm the person that even the line leader comes to tell me information, to check certain things with me and make sure it's cool or whatever. So it's like, even though another person is technically the leader, I am the leader of the group.
Right.
And it's weird, like, how that works. Like, you say a leader will emerge. Like, even when one person is the leader,
it could be just
it's a natural human thing.
Right.
Yeah, it might be the title. Like, that might be the figurehead, but everybody in the group on a natural level seems to know who the leader is, who you go to, and stuff like that. You know, it's interesting.
It is. It is, and it really is a. It's a skill that some people learn. Like you said, some people naturally have it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's definitely learnable, and it's something that
Agreed.
we all lead something somewhere at some time. And so I think it's something we should all develop, whether you got children, whether it's for your profession, whatever it is, like it's gonna come an opportunity or a time where you're gonna have to lead. You ever been inside of a store and I see this all the time. When you're inside of a store and people get into group think, it's just so many people around, they're not really aware or think about what's going on. They're walking crazily throughout the aisles, right? And I'll be at the store and I have my old lady and my children with, and like I don't want to just be leisurely walking behind people just what are we gonna do today? Like
Yeah.
do what you need to do and be done with it. That's one of my hardcore sayings, and I think that's one of those opportunities. It might seem small and minuscule to use it on that level, but navigating around traffic, whether that's physical people, cars, or groups, like I think it comes into play. And yes, leadership is definitely a skill set that we refine and we get better at with time. It's also perishable.
True. True. Let me ask you this: do you believe that a person that's a leader in one environment means they're a leader in all environments?
No, no. Some people might feel that way, but you're smarter than you certain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is your superior in one way or another, right?
True.
I mean,
True.
you can't be the best at everything. So, like you said, you're not the line leader, but the line leader, hey, is this right? Yeah, they still got that authority, but they know, all right, Lawrence, he know better than I do. I don't want to fuck up, because that's going to be who's head on the chopping block.
That's true.
And he messes the whole thing, you got to come back and unfuck it, right? The rest of the team got to unfuck it. And it's like, so no, I don't believe it's across the board. Now, some people might do that, and it's just not the best way to use and leverage your talents.
Yeah, I have to agree with that because I've been told that I can come off sometimes as a know-it-all or kind of arrogant and whatnot, and I disagree with that. I have issues with authority. That's what I've been told. So you think you know everything. You don't want to listen to nobody. You don't want to listen, respect the authority, and I just don't believe that a person should have authority over you just because they have a certain title. But on the other hand, I believe in respecting a person's expertise. If something's on me hurting and I gotta go to the doctor, I'm going to the doctor because that's what he do. So when he tell me, all right, this is my analysis, I think this is what's wrong, I'm not gonna be like, man, he don't know what he's talking about. Like, no, that's what he do. I'm gonna acknowledge and respect his authority. That might come to anything. If I need plumbing done, if I need work done on the house, like anything that's not my specialty, if another person that's their specialty, I'm gonna respect and acknowledge that. I might double check it if I'm like, I don't know, let me get a second opinion. But I'm still gonna hold some weight to that person because that's what they do, But let me ask you this, because there are some guys who feel like I'm the man, so I'm the leader of the household. But I know some dumbass guys. So like, just because you have the dick, did that necessarily, like, that might come with it respecting another person's authority. Like, hey, look, if you moved in with your girl and your girl owned her own house, you was living with your mama before you moved in with your girl, perhaps you want to listen a little more about how she wanted to run the household. You know what I'm saying? Right. So what do you think about that?
I'm gonna play both sides of the fence here.
Okay.
I agree with you that just because you got, because think about it, it's 2018. It's all type of relations out there, right?
True,
Guy,
true.
girl, a bunch of things in between because they got what 76 different pronouns to define people now.
Yeah.
But whatever. Now, a situation like that, I mean, I think what you brought up, it depends on the situation. That's one. And then two, just having that ability to, your girl gonna know some things or be better at things than you are. And
Yes.
like, all right. Like my old lady, she does the budgeting. Can I count numbers? Can I do pay bills stuff? Sure. But who's more timely at that? Who's more organized? Who's looking at the bank account more frequently? You're better than me at that. Take the reins, right? I don't trash start get to the top. Hey, that's my job. I got that, right?
Right.
So yeah, I think it should depend. I mean, we gotta play to our strengths. I mean, and that should be. We talked about this before. The importance of having a mate. Why would you have a mate that you're gonna have to supplement all of her strengths and all of her capabilities,
True.
or his, whatever
True. That is so true. Man. And you know what? Because I used to be kind of thinking like, I'm the man, so I'm supposed to make the most money, and I'm supposed to, because like, I was weird. Like, I'd be like, all right, I wanted to do something, all right, but I didn't. All right, let's say this house. One day, it came to me, I was like, hey, we should buy a house, all right? This was not, I wasn't planning on this since I was like 12 or nothing like that. It was just, I happened to have been saving some money. So I had the money for down payment. I went to talk to some people, and wham bam, we got a house. Now, I feel weird about that because people were like, man, look, you got a house. You should, you the man, whatever. And I was like, I didn't feel like it was, I didn't plan it, so I didn't feel like I deserved any accolades for it. Because I'm like, it was kind of like I had the right things at the right time, but I didn't feel like I didn't work hard specifically for that goal. And and I get like that with a lot of things in life, and I'm like, oh, I'm the guy, so I'm supposed to have all this planned out, and I'm supposed to have all this money, and I'm supposed to do this and that. And if that's not, if it didn't go A, B, C, and D, I didn't allow myself to feel good about, even though I accomplished whatever that task was.
Right.
I didn't allow myself to feel good about that because I was like, all right, I had the tools to make it happen at the time, but I didn't set out that. You know what I mean? I didn't set that goal out from the beginning and then work specifically for the goal. I didn't have the straight line. And like I've only just recently kind of come to terms with like, hey, look, you can't do everything, and sometimes things don't. You don't specifically plan things, but you still use your resources to make things happen. You should still feel good about that you accomplished that task. You shouldn't be hard on yourself to be like, well, you didn't do it exactly A to Z, so you shouldn't feel good about that task. And yeah, I'm sorry, I kind of got lost in thought there, but it's just I wouldn't give myself credit for anything. I would always feel like be hard on yourself and try to hold yourself to a higher standard, I guess. And I'm just saying, like, as a leader, I feel in a sense you have to do that, but you have to also be careful of not overdoing that as well. And like you were saying before about well, your girl's better at this than you are. As a leader, you have to acknowledge another person's skill, and you got to respect that. Sometimes being a leader don't mean I can do, if I got 5 guys and I can do everything better than these 5 guys, so I'm the leader. It should be like, you know what? Maybe I'm the leader because I'm better at making plans or giving directions, or maybe I'm the leader because I'm the guy that everybody elected to be the leader. But either way, I got to be like, all right, you good at communication and you really good at the physical stuff and you really good at foreseeing certain things. And I got to be able to lean on those strengths when I have to. As a leader, you might have to delegate. You got to recognize and appreciate another person's strength. You don't have to feel like I got to be the best 100% at everything. If that makes sense.
It does. It sounds like you're saying that the leader's responsibility is not to do it all themselves. It's to organize that team to get that constructive end goal.
Yes.
And like you said, if this person's better at foreseeing problems, right, and this other person's better at the physical stuff. Maybe this is setting up whatever type of equipment you got. But this person, he know, all right, well, we got to consider rain, so we might need a tent too. Or we might need to do it indoors. Or you know what? Let's just do it indoors. That way we won't have to worry about that and it'll be good. Or these is good feedback. And as a leader, you need to know the whole situation to make the best, to plan the best course of action, I believe. So let me ask you this though. With that being the case, how does that affect a leader who had, like me, that lone wolf syndrome?
Lone wolf syndrome. Well, I'm guilty of that, so I understand what you're saying on that. Well, when you're a lone wolf, you're the leader yourself. It's just you. You're not looking to interact, with more people. Like you're not really looking at it as a team. And even if you have a team, it's going to be a small team. So, I don't know. I can only speak from my own experience to say, I ain't gonna lie, I try to do it all myself. I try to do it. I'm the first guy to be like, if you need something, call me. But if I need something, I won't call you. Right. I know it's horrible. But I won't call you. It's like I'm there for you, but I don't like to ask for help. It's just part of that lone wolf thing. Like I don't like to ask for help, and I don't like to be a burden to anybody. I suspect this comes with holding yourself to a higher standard, and you don't want to be a burden to someone, and at the same time you don't want to be dependable on someone. And that just, it has its strengths and it has its weaknesses. You're going to be strong. A lot of times you're going to be one of two ways. You're going to be either strong character-wise or you're going to be very weak character-wise because you're on your own. So either you're going to be like, no, these are my principles. This is what I stand for. And I don't alter that. That's it. I'm on this end of the scale. Or since you're by yourself, you're going to be like, I want what I want and I need what I need and everybody else be damned. And you on that end of the scale. I think that's really, you're going to be one of those two ways. I don't think it's going to be a middle ground for you because you used to being by yourself. And when you by yourself, it tends to be you one of those two things. What do you think?
I've been afflicted with lone wolf syndrome for a long time as well. And for me, for me, the lone wolf syndrome is, can I work with other people? Sure. I could develop those interdependent relationships, but I prefer, because when things fall apart, it's like, all right, that was me. Or this is the vision I had, and it didn't come out. I gave it my all, and I tried. And I might come back and try to refix it and shape it up, but sometimes when, I don't know if this ever happened to you, but maybe you had to work together on a project, and because I got lone wolf syndrome, I intuitively think everybody else is like me. All right, they're gonna work hard, they're gonna do their piece, and we're gonna meet together at the finish line.
Okay.
But sometimes they don't go like that. It'd be like,
true.
Someone dropped the ball, and the rest of the project falls apart. Like, what happened? I couldn't do this. Well, how come they come online? So I'm with you too. sometimes it's very hard for me to ask for help. Often it's hard for me to ask for help. And then, as crazy as it sounds, I'm also on the other end of the spectrum because if I don't know, I'm gonna clap. I'm the first person to raise my hand up. If I see somebody that you know more than me, I'm gonna play 21 questions with you as well. Like,
Yes.
I'm not sure when it turns off and when it turns on, but when it's off, it's off. You know, like lone wolf syndrome. I'm breaking out, right?
Yeah.
I'm fully affected. But also, it makes a kick on. Be like, all right, don't do the project for me, or don't do X Y Z for me. Show me how. Teach me to fish. Don't
Right.
don't reel the fish in for me. Be like, here, go cook this.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yes, that's definitely a benefit, because you're used to being on your own. You're used to doing things for yourself. So you think, if you give me a fish sandwich, all right, yeah, I'm temporarily okay, but if I don't know how to fish, I'm going to be hungry tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
or later on tonight.
I
But
better
if
say
you-
this crust.
Yeah, but if you show me how to fish, I can use that indefinitely. You know what I mean? And I think when you lone wolf, your mentality, I think you probably pick up on critical thinking skills a bit better because everything is on you. First thing I think, I'm accountable. I got to be responsible to make sure things happen how they're supposed to happen. Because if it don't, who am I go to? It's only me.
Right.
So if that didn't happen, I can't be like, man, you ain't do your job. I'm the only person that was supposed to be doing the job. So it's like, I love it, but it's also like I'm totally dependent on me, and I think that's a strength and it's a weakness because it can make it difficult to work along with others.
Right.
But the strength is, I know I'm gonna survive. I know I'm gonna do what I need to do. You know, because I'm accustomed to making sure things are happening for myself. You know, so I mean, I think lone wolf, it's just like being a team player. It's gonna be pluses and minuses. All right, you got lone wolf on one end, you got team player on the other end. Team player might be great as a team, but if he gets stranded on his own, he might have problems. Maybe he not used to thinking ahead or thinking about what problems he's gonna run into because he ain't used to being by himself, and he gonna have problems. But lone wolf, that's not gonna be a problem. I'm already thinking, all right, if I do this, then this might happen. If I do that, that might happen. I'm running scenarios because I'm accustomed to the critical thinking aspect. But lone wolf might get in a team and be like, all right, we all gonna go through this mission, and then when you look and like, all right, everybody y'all spread out, where is he at? I'm off doing what I wanted to do. Like, I didn't check in, I didn't ask, I didn't let nobody know because I'm not used to working as a team. And then that can sometimes make it hard for people to get along with you.
Yes. Because I run into that same situation, which you actually made me think of a question. I hear a lot of these people talk about shaming. You know,
Mhm.
you think that has something to do with it? Like, is there? For me, sometimes I don't want to ask questions. It might be because I have played 21 questions with you, and I know people get tired. 35, 40 questions, you know,
Yeah.
back to back. Like, damn, all right, I don't mind teach you to fish, but I gotta describe the fish for you, tell you where to go stand at, the
Right.
cast your line, and so on and so forth. But I think good teachers, they don't mind helping, especially if you're really eager to learn.
I agree.
Sometimes it might just be in my head because I don't mind helping people. I think you the same way,
Mhm.
but it's in my head. I'm thinking, oh man, they probably tired of me asking all these questions, or man, all right, I don't want to go back again because he just told me this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So you think shame or any type of like mental things go on with that too?
I think that comes from when you figure out everybody doesn't operate like you do. You know, everybody, you only got your own, as far as mentally, you only got yourself as a reference, really. So you assume, I think it's a natural human assumption, you assume everybody thinks like you. How many times have you thought or you seen somebody do something, you be like, why would you do that? But they was thinking something totally different than what you were
Right.
thinking. But from your operating system, you like, yeah, no, this was the course of action. I have no idea. Like, it's not even like sometimes you can see, like, all right, I see what he was trying to do. Sometimes you like, I have no idea why he
Right.
did that, you know? So I think that comes from recognizing and understanding that people are different. And that, like you said, you ask a bunch of people questions. I do that all the time. I'm going to ask you a million questions.
It gets clarity.
I want to know
edification.
information.
Right,
Yeah. Like, I want to, again, being a lone wolf, I want to know as much information as I can in any given situation because I might be by myself and I might have to do this.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. You know what? I'm in that same boat because I always look at things like, all right, what is the gold standard? What are we actually striving for here, right? What does 100% look like? And then I also want to know if things go sideways. I mean, it's like complete, like, whoa, like you said, what's going on here? Or that's definitely not what we were looking at. And then I also want to know that middle ground, like, all right, what's that comfortable, soft landing area to go ahead and you know, drill things down.
Mm-hmm.
I think knowing what the best and what the worst or that extreme left field is supposed to be, it helps you stay inside that little middle ground. And I mean, the middle ground might be a little closer to the 100. It might be a little close, but that's a whole lot better than being over
Yeah.
here. We want to be here, but how often are we 100% all the time?
True, true.
And then when you're talking about the people in their mind, they was thinking like, man, where did that come from? I heard this concept separate realities, and I think until I heard that, I was like, oh, that freaking makes sense. When people say that think the world revolves around you, I kind of think some truth in there because in everybody's head,
It does.
exactly, and those separate realities are like, if me and you are arguing about the last bottle of water, you're thirsty, I'm thirsty. You're gonna tell me how thirsty you are. I'm gonna tell you how thirsty I am. I mean, it's gonna be a back and forth, but in
Right.
both our heads, we're legitimately thirsty, right?
Yeah.
And a third person come in there might see something completely different, and it's like those separate realities. I think that's very true.
I agree. I mean, I remember as a kid, I used to think life was like a television show. You know, you watch like Happy Days or Bonanza or something, and it's like, okay, it's these same people in this situation, the same characters, and every week it's a situation or whatever, and I'd be like, well, life is like a television show. Like, it's my show, it's the Lawrence show, and everybody else is a special guest.
Right.
So you got the regular cast, and then every now and then you get a special guest come in, whatever, you know. So I've had those thoughts too, you know, but I don't know, like, I still think about that from time to time. Like, I don't live that in my daily reality, but sometimes it occurs to me. You're like, yeah, you know, this could be like a TV show. And you're like, I wouldn't die because I'm the main character. But then you'd be like, nah, don't test that theory.
Right,
You know?
yeah.
Like, I know people that die, so don't do that, you
Right.
know. So, yeah, I understand what you're saying. The thought has occurred to me, you know. I heard a friend of mine at work showed me a video kind of on that same lines. KRS-One was giving a speech, and he was talking about, he said, all right, so this is water. It says purified water. So he said, all right, I want you to say purified water, but I don't want you to move your lips. I don't want you to verbally speak. He said, all right, did everybody say purified water? And everybody was like, yeah. He said, all right, so you didn't verbally speak. Where did that voice come from? And, you know, he was saying, like, it goes to the fifth dimension and how this is just a shell you're controlling. You know, you're really not here in that sense. You're just, like, this is a puppet, basically. And I thought, like, oh, okay, that's an interesting concept. I was like, I can't buy into that because I'm like, you're basically taking things that you don't know and just filling in the blanks. Like, I agree, all right, maybe that's something, or maybe that's just your conscious mind. Like, but you don't know. You can't just assign it something because you don't know what it is, you know. So I don't know. I mean, there are different theories on stuff, and just like there are different theories on multiple Earths, and I'm just like, could be
Possible? Yeah.
Yeah, you know me.
I'm not gonna
Like
rule it out.
it's a buffet. Like it could be. You say, hey, it's vampires and werewolves. I ain't never seen one, but it could be.
Right. Where did the idea come from?
Yeah.
And if it's somebody's figment of imagination,
Right. I mean, think about it. A vampire ain't just walking around like I'm a vampire. I mean, if you obviously kill people, you would hide your identity so people don't track you down and try to wipe y'all out. So it could be vampires. You don't know.
on top of that, the boogeyman, right? Everybody's boogeyman is different,
Yeah.
right? Until that movie came out, it's just something under the bed you don't want to get you, right? Or something in the closet you don't. Do you really want to find out? No,
Not really.
It's-
Yeah.
I'm not fucking with that. So I'm with you, yeah.
Yeah. On a just came to me on a in relation to we were talking about leadership. I remember Nelson Mandela was talking about his father. They was asking him, Nelson, man, you're a really good leader. It's like, how did you become such a great leader? He was like, my father used to be the chief in our village, and he was like, it was just one lesson I learned. He he'd take me to different meetings, but it was just one lesson that just always stuck with me. He said his father was the chief, and he had all the different advisors and heads of this and that around him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we had a table. It was a bunch of people, all right? And I would ask, all right, so what do y'all think is the best course of action? And we start from here. We go all the way around the table until it comes back to me. So he says father would listen to something, and he would never shoot it down. He was just listen to it, was like, okay, I can understand. All right, I see your point. And he moved on from one person to the next and the next. And he said, that way, everybody feels like they've been heard.
Right.
All right? And you don't want to shoot him down because if I shoot this guy down, this guy over here might be like, well, he shot him down, so I ain't going to say what I really want to say either. So when I start shooting people down, I'm not getting as much information as I can get.
You can't make
So
the best decision.
I can't make the best decision. I'm getting everybody's information, and then from that, I'm going to think on that and make the best decision. And I think that is, I mean, that's probably one of the, leadership involves so many broad things, but that's probably one of the best things I think you can do. If you're a head of a corporation, if you're the head of some military division, if you're just on a football team and you're the quarterback, whatever it is you're doing, yes, you need to do that. I think that's such a vital, important thing. That's why I was a little out of order, but I wanted to put that in because that's such an important thing, I think.
It's definitely a real point. I mean, I wouldn't classify that person as a good leader if you're not trying to get all the information that you can. And I get it. We're not saying an analysis about paralysis. I'm saying if he's the chief, he's not gonna have just the village idiots sitting at the table, right? You got these people around you for a reason. Why not? This is what they gotta say. It might give you okay. That's not quite it. But you know what? You just reminded me of X, Y, Z. And it give you other factors to make a better decision. You might still make a bad decision, but you got everything that you need in order to available to you.
Yes. And what if this guy over here says, all right, we should go west and we should shoot him with arrows. And then we get around, this guy over here says, no, we should go north and then we can catch them from behind with the spears. All right, maybe that's not 100% right, and maybe that's not 100% right. But because I heard everything, I might be like, all right, those are both good ideas. Maybe we can intertwine those together and work together. You know, and that comes back to what I was saying. Like, you got to recognize and respect some person's expertise on certain things, you know. Like you said, if you at the table because you got worth. Everybody ain't at the table. And I think if you go back to, like, the greatest of leaders, it don't matter how good that leader was, he had people that would help him with stuff, you know, an advisor,
Right.
If you're a president, if you're a prime minister, if you're a king,
You want
whatever
good
it is,
counsel.
you want counsel.
Right.
Only a fool thinks I know everything and I don't need nobody's help. And if you got a leader like that, you're going down.
Right.
You might be like, well, I got money, I got influence, I got power. That's all great. You're still gonna go down at some point because you can't steer the boat totally by yourself, and that could happen if you're, let's say you're a lone wolf in a leadership situation where you got to lead, but you're used to not really working well with others. That could be a downfall. Now, of course, that varies depending on the person or whatever. But if you're that closed off, yeah, you're most definitely gonna fall. So yeah. Again, it's when ups and downs and stuff. So let me ask you. I heard this saying the other day. I thought it was interesting. Guy said, "Health is wealth." What do you think about that? What does that mean to you?
Health is wealth. I think of that. Because when I think of health, I think of overall wellness, right? I'm thinking your mental abilities, right? Do you have foggy mind? Are you clear and direct? How is your overall health, right? Are you able to pick up and hang out with your kids? Your car break down? Can you walk to the next exit? Back to that, just goes with both of them. Your ability to interact with those people, right? You're a leader. Are you closed up to those different ideas? I mean, that could be detrimental to your health as well, right? I mean, you about to go siege. Well, I guess we're not about to be sieging anything, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you got your table. You're not gonna be able to execute well if your mind, your body. You ever had your back or something hurting and like you got something else going on?
Yeah.
But that is the main thing. Is your focus. It's a distraction. I mean,
you are not 100% at all.
When I get a cold, I'm worthless. You know what I'm saying? But any other time, I'm good. Allergies bugging me. So, health is wealth. To me, it's your overall. And all of us have our different limitations or whatever is jacking us up. But, yes, it's definitely very important because you're not going to be a good leader if you're not able to be out there with your team, or you're not able to convene with them, right? You're not able, whether that's your team, your family, or whatever. It's the same thing for your health. The better your health, the better your mind is going to be able to work and flow. It unleashes that creativity. A lot of people, Carl Jung, lots of famous poets, Thoreau, so on and so forth, would go on walks, right? They call it nature therapy, right? And that's a good way. It's getting outside of the office or whatever environment that you in a lot. You getting some different stimulation while walking, or probably while you showering, right? You doing hygiene. How many ideas do you get inside the shower?
A lot, yeah.
Right? And it's like, so is health well? Damn right. I believe so. What do you think?
I was thinking about it when I believe Royce 5'9" said this in a rap, and I'm not going to try to rap it because, that ain't one of my specialties. But he was saying that people treat money like oxygen. When they got it, it's no big thing. But when they need it, nothing else matters. All right? And I think wealth might be along those same lines. Like when you got health, you don't think nothing about it. You walking, you talking, whatever. But when you don't have it, something went wrong. Like, all right, you ever injure yourself? I've injured myself. Maybe like I was working out. All right, so when you work out, and let's say you ain't worked out in a while. You do that one workout the first time back, and then the next day you sore. All right, so you sore, and then you move a little stiff, you get a little pain, and then you laugh, and then you like, I can't laugh because you realize like I never noticed that everything is interconnected. So as soon as I laugh, I'm like, oh, I feel it like everywhere. And like if you're in a fight or something, you take a hit, you be bruised. Something as simple as, hey, let me pick up this water. You go to pick up the water, you're like, oh, right. You know what I mean? So it's like didn't give it no thought before. Same body, but now that I don't have it, I'm very aware that I don't have it, and that's something temporarily. If something happened that was permanent, God forbid, I mean, it changes everything. Mm-hmm. Hurt your back, I guarantee you'll walk differently.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different things, you know, and it will affect you. So it's something everybody got, so you don't value it. But when you ain't got it, right, you highly value it. You know, you ever hear an old person tell you, hey, man, don't be jumping on that concrete. You be like, man, I don't know what you're talking about. Get out of here. And you get older, you like, man, I gotta get off this concrete. You know, right, like, you know then. You be like, yeah, because I know the effect, and I can feel the effect. And then when the person is older, they might not be able to change that. They might be like, yeah, I ain't jumping, I ain't running, I ain't doing none of that, because
you lose that capability.
Yeah, you lose that capability. I fall, I hurt something, I don't heal like I used to. Like, so yeah, the health thing, man, in a way, it's like being rich, but not in, like if you're a millionaire, all right, if you're a millionaire, you probably wouldn't really want for anything. Like clothes, I got it. You buy TV, I got it. One new car, I got it. It costs you nothing. It's effortless. You're a millionaire.
Right.
And it's like that when your body's in good condition. It's like, I want to run, I run. I want to jump, I want to jump. I want to swim, I swim. But when your body not in good condition, it's not the same, you know. So I think in a sense, I heard the guy say, I was like, health is wealth in a sense, you know. Because Fat Joe was talking about Big Pun. And he's like, yeah, man. Pun, I remember we'd be walking through the hotel, all right? And we hadn't even got to his room yet. And he would have to stop and kind of lean on the wall and catch his breath. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man, just walking from, like, entering the hotel to, say, walking down the hallway to your room, and you got to stop. I'm like, man, that sounds like it would suck. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you've seen people at Walmart, and they on the scooter, they ride on the scooter. I ain't gonna lie. I'd be like, when I first started seeing that, I was like, man, get the fuck out the scooter. Like, because you like, dude, you can walk. But now I'm just like, some people need it. Everybody, right. I think most people I've seen in there do not need it. Right. I ain't gonna lie. But some people need it, you know, and it's just like, you get into that situation, it's hard to get out. A lot of times by the time you realize you're in trouble, it can be too late sometimes, right. You know, or more difficult to undo. I say it like that.
I hate to off track it. But I see young kids in there on those carts. Hey, if you're doing that, you're a fucking asshole. All right? And that's me saying that. I know this might offend some people. But no, it's some people, like you said, legitimately need it. Yeah. Now, I'm not talking about the people. I'm talking about you see the 20-year-old just, they found the cart and they rock. Like, get out of that shit. Because somebody needs that thing. And, all right, off that tangent. But I see that, and, oh, man, it burns me up to high.
I understand. I feel you on that.
Because you know what I see? I remember, this still in that health as well. I remember in, this might have been elementary school, middle school, something like that. But we had this one substitute teacher. He ended up becoming a full-time teacher. Mm-hmm. And he was 50 years old. I'll never forget this guy. I don't know his name, but I could see him. He looked like Ben Raines with bald head, right? And I remember him saying he was 50 years old. I'm like, man, 50 years, and he's just jacked up. I'll never forget this guy. I'm like, help. The other teacher who he replaced, he had diabetes. So that's understandable, right? I mean, you can't change that.
Right.
But see how it affects your health. It made you change your career. But this other guy came in and, I mean, we'll go do stuff like, you know, play basketball during during the break or something like that, and
Okay.
he was able to shoot around with us and play around with us. And as a kid, I have never seen a 50-year-old doing that. Like the only 50-year-old I knew was my grandfather. And I see sometimes older people walking across the street, or when I'm out at the park, they're walking. It's like I applaud that because you're getting after it when you could be idle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you gotta appreciate that. And I look at it like this: when you take yourself and you evolve yourself, you make that type of investment. It goes back to the leadership thing again. It's showing a different level of ownership or personal responsibility, or just it says something about that person. And I'm not gonna lie, I want to run around with my grandkids. If I would like to see my great grandkids, you know, like, yeah. I mean, yeah. So is health? I believe health is wealth, and that 50-year-old guy, man, I'll never forget that dude. This is what 20 years after. Like, man, you say 50? I was like, what the hell? No gray hairs, none of that, just jacked up,
Jacked
like
up.
Ben Diesel, man, with glasses.
Isn't it funny how we don't value anything that we got for free? You got your wealth. I mean, you got your health free. You know, you got your sight, your senses free.
Your legs, you can write, you
Yeah.
can read.
But let you lose any of those things, it'll change your entire
Right.
existence, man. So that's just interesting. Like, it's almost like we all strive to get. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I strive to get wealthy. Like I want to be comfortable. I don't want to have to worry about financial issues and stuff like that. But imagine if we had to strive for wealth. Like our opinion of it would be so different. And yet most of us, not all of us, but most of us start off in very good health standards. You know, and I'm not throwing rocks because I'm obviously not in the best shape of my life either.
I'm working on stuff too. We all
yeah,
are.
we all are, you know. But it's just, you know, it's really something. I don't think I can say is it's something you want to appreciate before that's no longer the case.
You know what I've been noticing? Because as I'm getting older, and I'm not super old, but I noticed my hearing definitely not the way I used to be. Why? Like you said about the people saying don't be in the concrete. I used to be told put some earplugs in when you go to the range or you're blowing shit out, right?
Right.
Fuck that shit, man. That's the
for
dumbasses.
pussies.
Yeah, exactly, right? Man? I got earbuds just for show, but like, man, I'm a hard ass, man. I can do this. And now I lean in, I catch myself doing stuff like that. My eyes, right? It's not so much my vision. I have this twitch in my eye. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never had that before, but every once in a while when I'm talking, while I'm just sitting there, my eye just start jumping, right? It's like, the hell is that? And it's like, it's just, I don't know what's going to happen later on. I'm happy with what I got now. And what I have, I'm going to maximize it as best as I can. But you're right. I know, hopefully I don't go deaf, but I know that it's not what it used to be, and it's not what it should be at 30. Also, the eye twitching, like, all right, look, oh, my camera just went off.
Okay.
But it also is telling me that, yo, guess what, Jeff? You do need to take care of yourself. 'Cause I mean, maybe it's too much stress. Maybe it's from the smoking. Maybe it was from the drink. Who knows, right? These different variables.
Right.
And it's self-inflicted. The lone wolf syndrome is what I inflicted, right? And it's up to us to correct it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. Because like you said, you didn't notice it before. You know what I'm saying? Like you never gave thought to, you never.
It's twitching now.
Yeah, you never thought about it till you like, hey, what is this? You know what I mean? Like, and now you like, oh, my eye twitches. You know, so it's just like you never really give thought to certain things, you know. And I guess in a way it's hard to appreciate because you didn't have to work for it. You know, you just got it. But like I said, when you don't got it no more, yeah, your whole opinion on it changes. You know.
Right.
Now let me ask you this: what do you think about people who try to look rich as opposed to really trying to build wealth?
I mean, as a person that's aspiring to become financially independent and set my life up to fulfill that vision that I'm trying to create, I've never owned a pair of Jordans in my life. My son owns a pair of Jordans now. You know how he got them? My sister gave me her child's old shoes.
Okay.
That'll be the last pair of Jordans our family ever had.
Okay.
I had rims back. You know, like it's. I think that it's seeking approval, right? And
Right.
yeah, somebody might say, "Oh, those some cool shoes." Oh, you got the new J's too, or what? And if that's your thing, that's your thing. I'm not knocking it, but how do you feel about it? Not only how do you feel about it, but are you doing it for someone else's approval? Then you didn't really want that. That's you should might as well just gave them the money. That doesn't satisfy or appease you. And who's wearing the shoes? Who got them? And if you like them, that's cool. All right, I get it. But why not like you own a house? All them shoes you still got a car note or you whatever, you know, you got your lights or electricity going on or something like that.
Right.
Like it's not putting the best things first, not putting the right things in the correct order.
True.
But is that what some people do? Sure. Once again, the separate realities. Your values and another person's values could be diametrically opposed.
Agreed.
It could be similar.
Agreed.
It could be any way. Now, what do you think? How do you feel about that?
I agree with you that the why is important. Okay, the why is definitely important. So, if a person went and bought a big gold chain and maybe a pinky ring and they got rims and the newest Jordans and all that, right? So, did you do that to impress other people to make them think like I'm the man, I got a lot of money, I'm doing my thing, or did you do that because these are things that I like and this is a reflection of my style? All right. If these are things that you like and they're a reflection of your style, I have no problem. Yeah,
Right.
because I understand. Like, there are certain things I like. And I'm just like, there are certain like companies that make shirts. And I'm like, I like the way the shirt fit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will probably get that brand because of that, but not necessarily because, oh, people will think that I got money or I do this or I do that. It's like, no, that's what I like. It's something about it I like it, or it's a reflection of things that I like. You know, like I like watches. Like I don't wear very many these days, but I like watches. You will find there's not a lot of guys that really wear watches anymore, and I'm just like, but that's what I like.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Now, if you're doing it to impress, it's your money. If that's what you want to do, I'm not gonna give you shit about it. I think it's kind of pointless. Because I remember, like, I knew this girl, and she was telling me when we were younger, she was like, yeah, I buy clothes for this season, and then when next season comes, I throw these clothes out. And I was like, what? Like, it just seemed odd to me. Like, you gonna throw away good clothes because they're not, it's another season now? I guess they're not in style. I'm just like, all right, if that's what you want to do, I mean, they're your clothes, but it just seemed odd to me. You know, like, another thing that always seemed odd to me when I was younger, I had to catch the bus. And I'd be, bus, public transportation, RTA. I'd be on there, and it seemed like everybody had a cell phone. And I didn't have a cell phone at the time, and I was like, that's odd. Everybody got a cell phone. And it was just like, you're on a bus. Like, now everybody had a cell phone. This is like early.
Right, yeah.
All right, everybody got
It's
a cell
back
phone
with
now.
flip
We got
phones and
5-year-olds
yeah.
that got cell phone. Yeah.
Right.
But this was back when they was just really just coming out. And I'm like, I would think you would use that money to get a car. Because you can ride in a car, you can do a lot of other things in a car, and it's a car. You wouldn't have to be on public transportation. But instead, you'd rather just buy a cell phone and ride on a bus. Like, it just seems odd to me. So, I mean, I guess it depends on where your values lie, you know. Because, like, I'm trying to get better financially, and I'm trying to get more financially literate on things. And I got I always had a habit of talking to older people, trying to get knowledge. And I got a guy I work with, Carl. Shout out to Carl if you happen to see this. He always dropping gems at work. You know, he would tell me like, all right, look, this is what you want to do financially, and this is what you want to do financially. And I'm like, man, all right, this is interesting, you know. But I'm like, I wasn't in a position to apply a lot of things because I just didn't have the money. But when I got the position to be able to do some of the things he said, I would do them, and they would work out. You know, like he was the one to put me on Credit Karma. He's like, look, you go on Credit Karma. I'm on Credit Karma every morning. I get up, I'm checking my Credit Karma score, checking my credit. And I was like, you know, I said to him, but I'm thinking like, why? Like, if your score was one thing yesterday, let's say it was 490. If your score was 490 yesterday, I saw when you get up tomorrow, it's gonna be 490 again. You know, and I was like, all right, you know, I'll give it a shot. I downloaded Credit Karma. It was free. And I started checking my credit. And I would check it every now and then. All right? You know, I check my credit score every morning now on a daily routine now. And you know what I realize it does? It gets you in the habit of being more financially aware. Just like when you health aware, it gets you in the habit of being financially aware. So in the morning, I got a certain morning routine. I'm still like figuring it out, but I got certain things in place.
Right.
I get up, I check Credit Karma, I check my banking account, I check. I got an investment thing. I check like investment account. Like I got like, you know how your phone got like different pages. I got one page just with the financial stuff.
Okay.
And I ended up going to check things out and
Checking your wealth serious.
Yeah, you taking your wealth serious, and I'm like, but I would never do that, you know. But so I feel like I'm just leveling up. I'm learning stuff, and you know, and it's like I really want to attain wealth because it's heartbreaking to me when I see someone older and they're on the bus or they you know they having a hard time and maybe they walk in. Like I'll never forget this one time. Like it made me shed a tear. It was cold. It was winter, and it was like this guy, and he had like one of those electric scooters, and he was going in the snow, and I'm like I feel so bad. I was in a little car. It's not like I really could put a scooter in there or anything, but if I could have, I would have. It was like, man. Because I just felt bad, like you don't want to be poverty stricken when you're like older,
right?
You know, and I think everybody don't think ahead like that. All right, I understand, but how much money did you waste on Jordans and stuff like that? And again, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But you should still use some kind of balance to it. You can't just spend all your money on now, and I'll worry about it later when I get there. Or I'll make more money later. Because when later come, it come. You know what I'm saying? Like, how old are you?
33.
Yesterday you was 17. Day before that, you was 12. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
For nothing. You know, you got a kid now. You got all kinds of expenses that you couldn't have foreseen. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit changes.
Right.
And there's some stuff, yeah, you can kind of like, all right, I can look out for this and look out for that. And then some shit, you just got no idea until you get there. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, I think I can say it's better to be wealthy than to look rich. And I understand looking rich might get you more girls and it might get you more props. And ain't nothing wrong with that stuff.
Right.
But
Everybody wants to pat on the back. from
everybody
time to
wants a
time.
pat on the back. All right. And who don't want a bad chick or whatever? You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But there are levels to this. You want to try to go up on your levels.
Right. You know what? This reminds me of this story I heard. I heard some guy, he was talking about how the Social Security Administration, they did a study, and they had like 100 people. They tracked them over the span of just long amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And out of those 100 people, I think it was like 4 people who were like rich, right? Like beyond, like, all right, they would have generational wealth. They could pass it on to the next couple generations. They well off. Then I think it was like 11 or something like that. These numbers probably gonna be off, but make it into 100. Right. So like 11 of them were financially independent. They were good enough where they were able to take care of themselves even into their old age. 54 end up having to move in with the parents had to move in with their children, or they were living off of just Social Security checks, something like that, and they were poor, right? Like right. They just was barely making it by, or they're not where they want to be at, right?
Right.
And then the other percentage of those people, 36, end up dying, right? So like, you got a lot of variables there, right? Like, not that many people end up being in the top 2 categories, which is wealthy or financially independent.
Right.
I mean, who wants to... And this was the guy's comment. It was like, so if you married, you got your mother and father as well as your significant other's mother and father.
I didn't think about that.
Now you got to take them into account in the house, because your old lady, or if it's your husband, they gonna feel some way about who wants to see their mother and father living out in the streets, right? It's wintertime. So I don't want to, but it's like, I ain't gonna let you just be out there to the wolves.
Yeah.
Like, I never forget that story. It's like, man, I do not want to be part of 54. You can't stop that 36. I mean, you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
Right.
You don't know.
But it's like, that's something I'm going to continue working, because it better just completely fall to shit for me part of that 54. It's like, man, that's something to think about.
Yeah. You know, interesting enough, I was at the bookstore this morning, and I was flipping through a couple of books. I don't remember which book it was, but one book was talking about this guy. He's a millionaire, and he's never went to college, never made over $11 an hour. And they were like, "Wow, how did you become a millionaire?" And he was saying, "I didn't make a lot of money, but I started looking into investment, because I knew that that's what rich people did. They would invest their money. They didn't just save it." So he would budget himself to say, okay, these are things I need to survive. And then anything extra, I send off to investments. And then, now again, money going out to investments mean you not being able to spend it right now, because it's an investment, and you don't know what the return is going to be. It's like a gamble, basically. Right. But that's a hell of a gamble. This dude became a millionaire. Like, now he an older guy. He don't really got to want for nothing. Like, one, you got accustomed to being poor, so you don't need a lot to make you happy or survive. And two, you got enough money that you can pretty much buy whatever you need. Like, that's a great position to be in, So I think sometimes, we think that, I'm not making $500,000 a year, and which obviously, who wouldn't want that kind of salary?
Or more, right?
Or
yeah.
more,
So everybody got their figure.
Right, yeah. But I think you gotta try to do what you can with what you got.
That's true. That is true. And that's across the board, even without wealth, the health again, right? The leadership.
Everything.
If you only got these people on your team, that's what you got.
You gotta strive to try to better yourself, no matter what it is you're referring to. And because I remember when the industries took a big hit. You know, you were looking at the house market took a hit, the car market took a hit. So like Ford and a lot of other places ended up closing down. They don't make Saturns no more, stuff like that. So what struck me as odd was people who were making really good money at the time, like really well money. Let's say you were making like close to $100,000 a year. All right, and you had this job for like 20 some years. All right, money that came through your hands. All right, then one day, hey, look, we shutting down, which just sucks because you don't see that shit
Yeah,
coming.
that's not something to predict. Right.
But I always wonder, like, all right, if you had that large amount of money coming in, you ain't putting nothing aside. Like, you ain't stacked like something. And a lot of those people, Jeff, imagine you roll by and you see those big houses. I mean, like those houses, they got 2 AC units. You know what I'm saying? Like those real big houses. Really nice, marble on the floor, granite counter, whatever. You know, I mean, like A1, all right? You living in those, and you and your family doing fine. Next day they say, hey, business closed down, dog. Sorry, everybody getting cut. What are you gonna do if you didn't have anything in the bank? If you didn't have nothing aside, you didn't have no investments. I love my house. This is the house my kids grew up in. How am I going there and tell them we asked out? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think like when the market hit, when the market crashed, a lot of people started doing suicides, and I couldn't understand why. And like, I think that might be why. Like, they couldn't handle that hit. Like, what do you do?
It does change things, and it will. You're right. Because what you just said, it goes back to a lot of things we just talked about. Their reality was one way for an extended period of time, or for a period of time, and like this is what you get comfortable with. Now, whether they were using the money on, maybe they were using it to purchase the house, right? To furnish the 2 AC units, the heat, whatever. It was good. But you're right, when it changes, like, man, like, I'm not doing what I wanted to do no more. Or I really don't know how to, I definitely see what you're saying, because, everybody's had that change. Like, man, I was walking down the yellow brick road, and everything was great. We was on our way to Oz. And then somehow I ended up in the woods with the Wicked Witch of the West. What the fuck? This bitch need to get the fuck out of here, right? I think we all had that situation.
We all had that situation. Man, I don't know if you ever watched the show Game of Thrones. Immensely popular show. I read the novels before the show came out, but I've seen bits and pieces of the show here and there. And one thing that struck me was it takes place during the medieval times, and it's about these families. This such and such house, the house of Peterson, the house of Ramsey, house of such and such. So this family's kind of trying to sometimes manipulate, sometimes kill, whatever to benefit the family. And as I watched that, as I read that, I was like, this is kind of like real life. Like, obviously it's a story, but like the way things work is kind of like real life, And I was like, man, like, all right, this is kind of like the importance of family and stuff like that. And if you look at the rich, a lot of times the families are so powerful. Like, they got so much money, and that's not like, oh, Bill Gates hit it big and his kids never had to worry about anything. It's not like that. You talking about old money. You talking about generational wealth. We talking about granddaddy's had money.
An oil field, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that is kind of how it works in real life. And one of the things I took, there's this one House Stark. Each house has their own saying. And House Stark's saying is, winter is coming. Yeah, I know I might read a few, a little too much fantasy or whatever, but that saying always stuck with me. Winter is coming. Because, Jeff, winter is coming. Like, we've all heard those stories as a kid. Like, oh, the squirrel, one squirrel, they stacks up, like, nuts and stuff for the winter, and the other squirrel doesn't. And guess what? When the winter comes, the one squirrel going to be screwed. And I just remember when I had the job before I had now, and I worked there, and then I ended up getting fired, and like I had no source of income after that. Man, that was like probably the worst time I've ever been down in my life. Like, it was hard for me to look myself in the mirror because I'm like, as a man, it hurt for me not to have a job. And I was just like, I had some money in a 401k, and I had some money in the savings, and I had to run through it because I didn't have any other money. And I remember, like, let me go to the bank to get $20 out, but it's only 15 in the bank, so I gotta get 5. I gotta borrow 5, put the 5 in there, so now it's 20. Because the ATM won't give you no less than 20. Then you withdraw the 20. And I'm just like, this is sad, man. Like, I got my bank account and I got overdraft, and man, it was rough, man.
Yeah.
That shit was so fucking rough. And now I'm just like, winter is coming. Never again. Like, that was a hard lesson. That's not some shit I ever want to fucking experience again, man. That shit made me want to tear up a little bit just thinking about it and shit, man. But it's just, you gotta think about the future, man. And there's just so many unexpected things, and it's just, and I think we all had those moments.
Right.
I don't know if I told you, I asked my wife, I said, babe, have you ever been broke? And she was like, yeah, I've been broke. I said, I don't mean broke as in, oh, I don't have no money until next paycheck. I mean broke as in, I don't have any money coming in. I have no idea where I'm going to get money from. I have no idea what I'm going to eat tomorrow. That broke. And she was like, no, I ain't never been like that. I was like, I have. I'm like, I'm glad that you ain't never had to experience that. And if I got anything to say about it, you will never have to experience that. But I'm like, man, that's some rough shit.
It is.
That's some rough, like, when you tell me, oh, okay, a guy robbed another guy, I'm like, I don't condone it, but I'm like, I could, under certain circumstances, I kind of understand.
You got kids and everything else hit the fan.
Yeah. You got guys who's in jail because they're trying to feed their family.
Right.
So, yeah, man.
Well, that makes me want to ask you guys. Are you thinking about what season you in right now? What season of life are you in right now? Are you prepared for winter? Because if I was fall, right? I mean, sometimes it is that slow progression. But then sometimes, we live in Northeast Ohio, right? It can go from summer to winter like
Real
this,
quick.
or go from winter to like...
Real quick.
Where the fuck was spring at? You know what I'm saying? It's an extended winter. The seasons of life, no different.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, it could be one season, and let's say it's summer. But sometimes, highly enough, out of the blue, it'll rain in the summer. So if you think about it on a slower, temporary basis, it might be like you're going well, but then you hit a speed bump, something happened, and you got to work something out. But if you think about overall, then you can say, hey, as a kid, that's your spring. You're growing, you're coming up, and let's say your early 20s, 30s, that's your summer. You living life, you enjoying life, you're trying to build up, what you got. As your 40s, 50s, start getting to middle age, then you got your fall, all right? Things are not what they used to be because things aren't necessarily bad, but at the same time, you're getting older, you start to notice certain things, you start to feel certain things, financially that could have a thing because if you're older and you haven't had a good job history, trying to get a high-paying job when you're older is a lot more difficult than it is when you're younger, And then if you go beyond that, then you're in winter. You're at the end of your lifespan. Not necessarily saying you're going to die, but I'm saying, like, you're on the
It's
decline.
different, right.
Yeah, you're most definitely on the decline. So if you look at it like that, then it is. And if you look at it like that, winter is coming. At one point, you're going to be on the other end of that
Right.
spectrum. You know, so
And I was thinking of winter. I definitely like that. Using the seasonal analogies for the duration of people's lives.
mhm.
But I think we go through the seasonal changes and cycles as we age too.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's both. I think it's both momentarily and then even in the
Overall,
long term.
right.
Yeah. I think it's most
It's
definitely both.
applicable all across the board.
Yeah, because I mean, even if you're in, let's say you're in the young summer period, you're like 20s and 30s. All right, you live a life, enjoying it, but every day ain't fucking Christmas. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now that brings me to something else I want to discuss. Appreciating where you are. Okay, because I told you like how I was when I lost my job. So I've had ups and downs. I've had ins and outs. I have rough spots, man, and like I'm doing okay now. I'm always hesitant to feel like I'm on solid ground because when I had that rough experience, like
That's in the back of your mind.
yeah, it's always in the back of my mind.
Right.
Yeah, so it's always like you could fall again. So I'm always keeping that in mind, but at the same time, I'm trying to appreciate the progress of the journey and where I am now. You know, this morning I went to the bookstore, and on my way to the bookstore, I ride across this one street. It's in a really nice neighborhood, and got a really nice selection of houses. I like turn down this one little roundabout that has like the newer houses they build up, so they're even nicer than the other nice houses over there. And I'm just like, man, one day I wanna get in something like this, you know. And I'm like, man, these houses are huge, you know. And then I went to the bookstore and I came back, and I come back and I get out of my car. I park my car like right in the front of the driveway. I get out of my car and I walk back to the curb. Now I'm standing in the middle of the street and I look up. I'm looking at my house and I say, man, my house isn't as big as those houses. That's cool. That just means I got more to strive for. But I was like, I love my house. Like, I like my house. I think I was fortunate to get a nice house. And yeah, maybe my house isn't as big as those houses, and they don't have the pool and the 3-car garage and all the extra amenities.
Right.
Yeah, you know. But I'm like, it's still my house and it's still nice. And then I thought about when me and my wife used to live in our old location, where it used to be, like I said, I was out, like parked in the front of the driveway. You know, I got it's not a long driveway, they got a little length in the driveway. I was like, man, the old location, it might be like 3 or 4 cars, and we had to juggle. Some such need to let you out, need you to let them out so they can leave. And I'm thinking about that, you know, and I'm remembering when me and my wife would come home sometimes, and we would just sit in the car, and I'm like, you know, one day we're gonna own our own home, and we gonna do this and do that, and we would like say we went to Target and we had to go home. Sometimes we would just drive through random neighborhoods and look at houses. Oh, this would be great to live over here. This would be great to live over there. And, you know, I was like, one day, babe, we're going to do something like that. And thinking about that and thinking about where we are now, I'm just like, you're doing all right. You got to take time to appreciate. You really got to take time to appreciate where you are in life and what you have in life. I mean, you always feel like you can have more, and you always might want more, you know, and I think that maybe that's the natural human thing. All right, that's fine, but you have to appreciate, because if you don't appreciate it, it don't matter what you get. You always gonna be like, all right, here go this new BMW. All right, it's nice, but now I don't want the new Bugatti.
Right.
And then you get the new Bugatti, and this ain't shit. I want the new Lambo. But you'd have had a lot of nice cars, but you didn't appreciate any of them, you know. So you really got to take time to appreciate where you are in your life, man. You just I like to do that with my wife. I like to take moments, and sometimes we'll be walking and I just stop. I turn around and hug her. I say, "Look at this. See how far we come." Because I think you got to take those times to really appreciate that. Because wise man once said, "If you don't appreciate what you have, it'll be what you had." That can apply to cars, houses,
Right.
money, girls. How many dudes have lost their girl like that?
It reminds me of. It's probably not the best reference,
Uh-huh.
but a meme that said, "For every beautiful woman that you see, there's some dude that's tired of fucking her."
That's true. That's
Hey.
goddamn true. But on the flip side of that, I've ever heard that reference. Oh man, what was that movie? Why Did I Get Married? You probably it don't seem like it'd be your type of movie. I don't know if you saw it. It was a Tyler Perry movie. It was about these different friends that were married, and the one guy dogged his wife out, and he divorced her, and she ended up meeting this other guy. So later in the movie, they ended up meeting back up, and she had married the other guy. So the two guys were talking. He was like, "Oh man, he took my leftovers, man." And the guy was like, "Another man's garbage is another man's treasure." He's like, "Me and my wife, we happy as can be. And the girl you left her for, it ain't working out for y'all. You know, you thought it was green on the other side, and now you wish you can go back." So it happens sometimes, man. You really gotta appreciate what you got.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm feeling like that's a good place to stop and wrap it up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoy, and we really hope you guys will subscribe and comment, and hopefully we'll do this again. All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Enjoy Memorial Day weekend. My bad, I'm not trying to.